Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel. This is part 9 for step-by-step guide to learn Angular. So if you are directly coming to this video, I will recommend you to watch previous video first and then you can come to this video. These are the topics we are going to cover in this complete video series, and today we will go for template driven form and form validation, and this is a mock-up for the application which we are going to develop in this video series. So today we are going to add a validation for our registration form. So let's start. This is our application, and so in the previous video we missed to include this account module to app module. So for step 1 I am going to include this in the app module first, because we are not lazy loading that account module. So in the module imports, I am going to add account module, and let's import the packages. So now let's open our registration component.html, and let's see if we have form tag here. So we don't have form here. So first step is to add the form for our control. So I am going to add this. Okay, so here I am going to add form. After the I'm closing this form tag after the registration button. Okay, and now let's change this type button to submit, and in the form element we need to add a reference variable. So reference variable is used to get the DOM object in your component. So to add the reference variable we need to add a hash, and then we can give any name like registration form, and this is a type of ng form. This we need to give this ng form directive here, and let's save this, and I'm going to serve our application, and I will get one error now. So let's see the error. So now the error is no directive found with the export as a ng form, because this ng form directive is a part of forms module. So we need to import that forms module to our account module. So let's do this. In the import array, I am going to add forms module, and I am going to save this. So this is a part of Angular forms. Okay. So now I should get success. So it's compiled successfully now. So next step, I'm going to create a view model for our registration form. So right click on the register folder and select a new file, and I'm giving a name as a register.ts, and I'm going to add this class and properties in this. So it's the same properties which we have in our HTML. Now next step is we need to add this model to our component. So we need to define one property here, registration view model, and this is a type of register class. So I am giving this register here, and let's import register class. Yeah, so now we have to associate this registration view model property to our HTML controls. So for that, I'm going to use NGModel directive. So this NGModel directive binds the value of HTML control to application data, and it also help us for two-way data binding. So to remember this syntax, generally it is known as banana in the box. Like this is a box, and we have banana inside, and then I can write ng model, and I'm going to give name is registration view model dot first name. This is the same name what we have given in our view model. Similar to that, I'm going to add in the other controls. So I added this ng model to all our controls. So now one more thing which we need to change is we need to give the name to all our controls. So I'm giving name is first name, and this is last name, and email. For password I'm giving name is password, and I'm not giving name for confirm password, and let's see what happens. So it's compiled successfully. So now I am going to open browser. So let's go to registration page, and yeah, now it's looking normal, but click on F12 on your keyboard, and then in the console window I can see one error. So let's see what error it is. So this error is if NGModel is used within a form tag, either the name attributes must be set or the form control must be defined as a standalone in the NGModel options. And this is a two example we have given. So either if you are setting the NGModel, either we have to define the name, and or we can give NGModel option as a standalone. So let's define a name for our confirm password. So let's add name equals to confirm password and save it. It's compiled successfully. Now let's verify in the browser window. Yeah, it's loading now. So yeah, now I am not seeing any error for our registration component. Now I am going to define validation rules for in our HTML. So this first name I want to be required, so I can add required equals to required, and I want max length would be 50, and now coming to the last name, I just want to add max length 50, and now come to the email. So email is required field, so I'm going to add required equals to required, and I am going to add the pattern here. So in the pattern I'm going to add a regular expression for our email. So you can find this in the description block, and now let's move to the password. Password is a required field, so required equals to required, and Minimum length I'm keeping is 3 and max length 50 and same for confirm password. So let's add it for confirm password and save this. So now open your browser developer tool. So you can click F12 from the keyboard and now inspect our form element and our control. So I can see my form here and I can see that this new properties ng untouched, ng pristine, ng invalid is getting added. So now let's see our control. So here also I can see this ng untouched, ng pristine and ng invalid class we are having. So now let's observe here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some value in the first name text box, and then you can see this ng pristine is going to change to ng dirty, but this ng untouched will remain same until I lost the focus from the text box. So keep observing. I am going to add my name is Tapan. So now we can see this ng pristine has changed to ng dirty, but still we are having ng untouched there. And when we will lose the focus from the text box, so I'm clicking outside of the text box. So now we can see this ng untouched has changed to ng touched. So this is a difference between ng pristine and ng untouched, ng dirty and ng touched. Now let's remove this Tapan text from first name, and as it is a required field, so we can see when we enter Tapan, I am having ng valid class in the first name control. So now let's remove this, and now I can see I am having ng invalid class in our control. So if I am adding it again, so I am having this ng valid class. So now we understood ng dirty, ng pristine, ng touched, ng untouched, ng valid and ng invalid. So now add some logic, and what I want is when my field is valid, I want one smiley with the happy face, and when my field is invalid, I want one smiley with the sad face. So for that, I'm going to add icon from Font Awesome. So let's open Font Awesome site and let's add the icon. So now we are at Font Awesome site, and scroll down. So here we can search for icons. So I'm looking for happy icon. So let's search happy. So I can see this icon. Let's open in the new tab and let's search for sad. So I can see one sad icon. So now let's add icon for first name. So I for icon and class, and let's copy class from the browser window. So you can see this. And similar to that, one more for set face. So go back and copy this. And what I want is this happy I want in the yellow color, and this sad I want in the red color. So I'm going to add some basic CSS here. So let's open our registration component CSS. and I'm adding this CSS here. So this is simple font red, color red. This is for color yellow, and that icon I am making the font bold, and I am increasing the size for that, and I am giving some margin from left and top. So let's save this, and let's add this smile class for both of the icons. And let's give this yellow color class for happy face, and this red color for sad face. And now let's visit our browser. Yeah, so now I can see both the smileys here, but what I want is conditionally, when the field is valid, I want happy face, and when it is invalid, I want sad face. So now let's quickly add that condition to our controls. So step one is add a reference variable for our input control. So for first name, I'm going to add reference variable. So as I mentioned earlier, we reference variable we can start with hash, and I'm giving name first name. You can give any name, and this is a type of ng model. Okay, now we are going to use that pristine, dirty, valid, invalid properties which we have seen in the browser window. So for that we are going to make logic, and I'm going to use ng if directive here. So I'm giving ng if. What I want is when someone entered the value, means when it is touched, and when it is valid, I want my yellow color smiley to show. So I can write like my first name dot touched, and first name dot valid. I want smiley face. Similar to this, copy this and paste it here, and now change it to invalid. And to make a space for our icon, I'm going to change one CSS here, and I'm going to add colmd 10 here. Now let's quickly make this changes for other controls. So now we have modified all the controls. So let's quickly see this. This is confirm password. This is for password. That minimum length is 3, maximum length is 50. And this is for email where we added pattern, regular expression pattern for validating email. For last name we don't have any required field, and this is for first name. So let's quickly verify our changes in the browser. So I'm closing this. Now let me enter first name. I should see one yellow smiley. Yeah, it's coming. Let me remove this. Yeah, I can see the red smiley. Let me edit it again. Now let me enter some invalid email, and I should see red smiley. Yeah. Let's enter a valid email ID. So now it's yellow. Let me enter correct password. Minimum length is 3. Let enter 2 character. So it's saying red. Now let's add one more and adding one more. So all are yellow now. Now our form is valid. But still I can see one problem here. Like my form is, if my form is invalid, but still I can click on the register. So what I want is I want to prevent this click. So for that I am going to disable this register button until my form is valid. So let's open Visual Code for that. So to disable this form, let's see first. This is our submit button. So I am going to use the disabled property, and when I want to disable, when what is the our form name? Let's go on top. My form name is registration form, so copy this. Registration form dot invalid. So now it's compiled successfully. So let's open our browser. So now, yeah, we can see that registration button is disabled. Now let me add first name. So now my button is enabled after entering all the values. If I'm removing this, so my button is again disabled. So one more thing, sometime we may get a question in the interview like what is no validate, or how can we disable the form, that browser validation for form. So we can add that no validate keyword in the form. So if you're on Angular 2, so you need to additionally add that no validate keyword. But for Angular 9, you don't require to add it. It's getting added automatically. So let's verify that. So open your developer tool, click on F12 on your keyboard. And now inspect this form element. So yeah, I can see this no validated keyword here. That's all for this video. So these are the some interview questions, what module required for template driven form. So as we imported forms module, and what is a NG model. So like we see, getting a form control value in our model, we used NG model, and also it used for two-way data binding. And then what is difference between pristine and untouched? So pristines means we are not changing the value of, yeah, of the control, and similar untouched is also same, but when we lost the focus, then untouched value is getting changed. And similar to dirty, when we change the value, it become dirty, and when we lost the focus, then it changed to untouched. And what is a no validate? So we can see from Angular 9 that no validate keyword is automatically getting appended in the form, and it is used to disable the browser validation. In the next video, we are going to study about class field validation, and we will add custom validation for our password and confirm password text box. And for that, we will create one custom directive. Thank you for watching.